What's up, guys? I got Lucky Madman here with me to help me out because I'm a noob. I can't read. And Lucky won the Legend Siege tournament, so he knows what he's talking about when we're talking about runes. First things first, Lucky, thanks for joining me in such short notice.
That's all good, bro. No, thank you for having me. This is a awesome event for them to bring up at this time of the year, so I'm glad they brought this one up.
I think this is one of the best events every year that they have. And
Yeah.
I do want to say one thing. If people out there are watching and don't know who Lucky is, you should know who Lucky is because he's one of the top Summoners World streamers on Twitch. I will leave a link in his channel in the description. I always missed the tongue twister. And by the time this video drops, you go into the LA meetup from Australia to LA.
Yeah, I'll be traveling to LA this weekend for the LA meetup. Yeah, super excited, man. It's been so long.
That'll be fun, man. That'll be fun. I'm pretty jealous as well. But yeah, have fun, man. And people from America, Lucky will be at the LA meetup. So say good day, mate, when you see him. So, as we were saying, this is one of the best events every year that we have. One of the best events. And like, I reckon my top runes are from this event in the last 7 years or 6 years we've had it or whatever. Lucky, I noticed, I was reading, but you helped me read it, that there's a small change to this rune craft event. And that is that you can actually reset your rune before collecting. Okay, so if you the rune event, it lets you pick the rune of your choice and the slot of your choice, and then it gives you the substats. It's a legend rune, and it gives you the substats at +6, so there could be 2 rolls. So what most people do, if you're a speed chaser, they roll the rune till they get that 18 speed, and then they collect it at 18 speed, but also having highest percentage rolls on the other substats, for example 8% attack, etc., HP, that are grindables. But before you collect the rune, you can actually reset it this time. They never had this before.
Yeah, this is a new one, right? So what happens is if you make a mistake, right? If you want to slot 6 HP % violent rune, for example, but you accidentally selected flat HP. I know a few people that have made that mistake before.
Didn't Sean B reset his do a rollback for this event?
Yeah, I don't know if he did a rollback for
He
it.
did a rollback. He did a rollback.
But what you can do now is like you can reset it. It'll cost you 100 points to be able to reset it. And if you do reset it, you don't actually get the points back for the previous steps. I believe you have to reuse your point. You have to regain points to be able to do each step again, which is selecting your rune type, picking what slot number, picking the main stat, and then you can re-roll stats from there.
We're not going to go through all the event types for the runecraft. Yes, there is new stickers. But what was I going to say? There's one mistake that I usually make myself, and I'm very impulsive. And I collect my rune way too early, and then there's like 28 days left in the event. Guys, don't make that mistake. I promised myself I won't make that mistake this time, which I do that every year, and I make that mistake. I see 18 speed and I collect. All right, but we're going to discuss what are the best runes to get for any type of player, right? Early game, mid game player, and end game player. I'm just going to start out by saying all end game players, their most used runes are Violent and Will. Okay, that's the safest choice. Would you agree, Lucky? That's the safest choice?
Yeah, 100%. I think Violent Will is definitely one of the safer options, but I think the more later you get into the game, the more you're going to know where your holes are in your account.
Yep.
So, but if you're kind of early to mid game, a lot of the types of runes you're going to want to build a depth on in terms of your account would be around your slot 2, 4, 6s, obviously, but mainly prioritizing slot 4 and 6 would be my suggestion.
I have a noob question, right? Lucky, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, go for it. Sure.
Do you craft a speed will 2 rune? Slot 2 will rune. I mean, slot 2 speed rune. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. So, I mean, slot 2 speed is probably one of the safer options, and the reason for that is what you really want to try get out of a slot 2 rune is either like as much crit rate as possible, with 3 grindable stats being HP %, attack %, defense %, or accuracy instead of the crit rate. And the reason for that is because if you can get as much crit rate as you can on slot 1, 2, and 3 in total, you don't need to get it anywhere else. All the other slots you can kind of chase just efficiency. So in slot 2, You want to try and get as
Like
much
this.
accuracy. Oh my god, what is this rune? How have I never seen this before?
Like
Oh
this.
my god, that is that's a prime example of the type of rune you want to try and get from
Yeah.
the
So
event.
where this accuracy is, you either want crit or accuracy, and then you
Correct.
want the attack, HP, and defense to grind. That's the safe option. You can go, like I said earlier, violent and will are the most safest way to go. If you're unsure, if you're not late game players, and they're probably not watching this because they already know what they're gonna craft, you do want to go violent and will if you are if you're a PvE person that wants to get Rift Dungeon scores. Okay, you go rage slot 6 attack or slot 4 crit damage, but that's very specific. But we're talking about majority of the people. So it is safe. Is okay to craft a speed slot too.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it depends on your account depth. As I said before, playing slot 2 speed is a safe option. Because essentially what most people are trying to do at this event is try get those elusive triple or quad speed runes, right, in slot 4 or 6.
That's what I'm doing personally, because I get trolled hard on my streams and my videos because of this one specific rune that I have on my Tiana. And they think I need accuracy to strip. It's not because of that. It's because it's my fastest speed on slot 6 for Swift. So in this event, I personally, one of the runes I'm gonna pick is gonna be attack slot 6 Swift, because I'm gonna go for that 18 speed, and I want that attack for Tiana, and then I want to get that at least one roll into speed where it goes into 23, 22, or 24, and then I'll give it one grind. You know what I mean? I give it one grind, and then I'm up to that 28 speed, so I can stop using this rune and people stop trolling me. Okay.
I think one thing that I'd like to kind of inform early game players or mid game players is that, as something that you mentioned, you rush to your rune, right? I think what you need, what a lot of people need to put in their mind is whatever you get at +6, make sure you're comfortable with where you are at +6. So if you do a slot 4 HP percent violent rune and you get 18 speed, be comfortable knowing that if you only get 18 speed, the rest of the rune is usable if you get 2 rolls elsewhere. So that's why you don't rush and take it early. You don't get 2 really shitty substats with it as well, because if you hit one of those substats, it kills your rune, right?
And
so what you want to, make the most out of your substats that you can. You make the most out of your points.
Yeah, and on that same point is because you roll the rune and it shows you 18 speed, and the 2 or 3 substats that are underneath aren't desirable or grindable. You can, when you re-roll it, you don't have to select the new rune. You can still keep that 18 rune and keep re-rolling it, because you have time to see if you can get another 18 with grindable stats underneath it. So that's a good point as well that you mentioned, that they can keep an eye out for. But yeah, all right, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna craft. Safest thing, I personally think, it's violent will. If you're not sure what to do, you go, and the most valuable substats in the game for you to craft is, think about this: crit damage. Slot 4 can't be found on slot 2 as a main stat, or slot 6 as the main stat. So I do think you should craft one crit damage slot 4 rune. Will it be violent, will, rage, even swift? Is up to you. I think that's my personal opinion. I always craft a crit damage, and they're very valuable runes in the game. And I'm gonna go, I might do will or violent slot 4 crit damage, and then I'm gonna do attack swift for that specific thing, which is Tiana, because I know I want this. So Lucky, what are you crafting?
So
you're late game
before this, but I think I've got a few options. I've kind of reviewed my account when I found out about this event. There's a few things that I'm thinking about. I'm tossing up between a violent slot 6 attack percent, a despair crit rate rune, because I don't really have too many of those.
Oh look, I only got 2 on my whole account.
Or a rage slot 2 attack percent rune to kind of boost up my Lucian, because right now my rage slot 2 on my Lucian is essentially a blue rune, so I want to kind of build on that one.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Is this something you're looking for? 21 speed.
That's actually a really nice rune. Yeah. So my best one right now is essentially, I think it's triple speed. It's 20 speed, and I think it's got 8 crit rate or something. So I want something a little bit more better than that.
Okay, so Lucky's gonna go with our attack slot 6 violent, because he needs to upgrade that. He's considering a slot 2 Lucian rune, but I think he's gonna go with the despair crit rate. I think he's gonna go.
We'll see. We'll see. There's a
I,
high chance of taking the despair crit rate for sure.
I think
I
there's.
just can't decide on the violent because I am re-upping my violent rune right now.
I
So
think
that's
that
why.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of people out there with oracles or people that want to play Swift Verdi or whatever. Or I think mainly oracles that will go a slot 4 crit rate rune. And I think crit rate rune is valuable as a crit damage rune as well because yeah, it's just for oracles it's broken, but also having 100% crit is very crucial most times. So yeah,
Yeah.
Summarize this. Violent Will, if you're unsure what to craft, I would say a crit damage slot 4 or a crit rate slot 4, depending on your account, but I think crit damage is the safest. And then it's Violent Will, and then you can go slot 6, HP or attack. And then if you're very, very specific, you can, or if you're looking for something specific, you can go speed slot 2 for rune choice of yours. Lucky, are you going attack slot 2 for the Rage
I'm
Revision?
doing. Yeah, it'd be a rage attack slot too
Yeah,
for
but
me personally.
yeah, for other
Yeah.
people, violent or will speed slot 2 is the safest because everyone in endgame is using violent will. There is specific monsters on despair, there is specific monsters on swift. I am gonna do one speed chase on my slot 6 with the swift, but I will go crit damage either violent or will for the slot 4. I think that's about it. I will leave a link for Lucky's Discord in the link description. Go there and ask him what rune they should craft. Or you can jump on my link tree and find my Discord and go there and ask for other players what they pick in and what they choose in, or write it down in the comments. And yeah, Lucky, have a safe trip to LA, man.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm gonna try to see if I can watch anything on the weekend while it's in the LA meetup and see if I can spot you there and be like, hey, that's my Australian friend. Everyone else, thanks for watching. Yalla, bye.